The story you're about to see is a big, fat lie. No names have been changed to protect anybody.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the USCFL Network, in association with YouTube, presents the USCFL Postgame Show. Here's once again is Robbie Graham.
Greetings, cartoon and football fans. This is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network, bringing you the action and highlights of Week 10 of the USCFL's 2023 season. If you're joining us for the first time, may we extend to you a cordial welcome, and we hope you'll enjoy everything this channel has to offer. We also invite you to take a moment to subscribe to this channel and join our team. We strive to be one of YouTube's least offensive channels by providing a different spin about your favorite cartoon characters from the past and present that doesn't reflect on their true legacies. If your favorite character or characters aren't mentioned in our videos, please leave a comment and we will answer your questions. Also be sure to ring the bell to alert you of when we put up any new videos. The USCFL is now part of Patreon, and you can help support us for as low as $3 US a month to as much as $5 US a month. In time, we can offer merchandise and other perks to help show your love for America's oldest fantasy football league. After a short break, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 19 between the Classic Cartoon All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars from Kansas City. Welcome back. Now that we are in round 3, it always seems to be that the teams that lost in round 2 try to redeem themselves by doing what could be the impossible, and that is for a team that lost against a team that won and win. After the exciting week we had last week, we were expecting the same this week. But in Friday's game in Kansas City, the Classic Cartoon All-Stars who lost to the Modern Cartoon All-Stars in Game 2, and were no match for the Filmation All-Stars in Game 11. As for the DC Comics All-Stars, they won on a last-second field goal to defeat the Comic Strip All-Stars in Game 4, and clobbered the Warner Brothers All-Stars in Game 14 by 4 touchdowns. If you will, this was David VS Goliath, Round 3. In the first quarter, the Classics, after recovering a fumble, got an easy field goal to go up 3-0. More than 6 minutes later, Batgirl tied the game also with an easy field goal. On the very next play after the kickoff, Harley Quinn intercepted a Woody Woodpecker pass and ran it in for a pick 6 from 15 yards out to go up 10-3. This was Harley's third pick 6 of the season, and the 7 seconds of elapsed time is the quickest score in USCFL history. Batgirl's second field goal extended the lead 13-3. Near the end of the first quarter, Wonder Woman connected with Zatanna for a 75-yard touchdown pass to go up 20-3 after the first quarter. In the second quarter, Woody Woodpecker found his knee splinter from 1 yard out to trail 20-10. Batgirl's third field goal extended DC Comics' lead 23-10 with under 10 minutes left in the first half, and was the score at halftime. Midway through the third quarter, Woody Woodpecker was taken out of the game with an injury and didn't return. His backup, Tom of Tom and Jerry, took over and near the end of the quarter connected with Olive Oil from 38 yards out to trail 23-17. But it wasn't enough, for the fourth quarter belonged to DC Comics. With under 5.5 minutes left to play, Wonder Woman ran the ball in from 9 yards out, and with a successful 2-point conversion, DC Comics was up 31-17. With under 2 minutes left, Robin sealed the Classic's fate by running the ball into the end zone from 38 yards out to give DC Comics a 38-17 win. DC Comics will advance to the quarterfinals while the Classics are eliminated from the tournament and finishes in 14th place. As for the stats in this game, beginning with the Classics, before he got injured, Woody Woodpecker finished 12 of 26 for 139 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. When Tom took over, he finished 11 of 24 for 109 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Chili Willy rushed for 113 yards on 26 carries. Olive Oil led the receivers with 5 catches for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Heckle led the defense with 6 tackles, 4 assists, and 1 sack. Underdog finished with 5 points. For DC Comics, Wonder Woman finished 22 of 40 for 341 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. She also rushed for 41 yards on 5 carries and 1 touchdown. Robin rushed for 169 yards on 31 carries and 1 touchdown. He also caught 7 passes for 69 yards. Zatanna led the receivers with 5 catches for 127 yards and 1 touchdown. Harley Quinn, the game MVP for the second straight time, led the defense with 6 tackles, 1 assist, 2 interceptions, and the pick 6 she had in the first quarter. Batgirl finished with 12 points. And here are the highlights of this game, courtesy of EA Sports. After a short break, we will talk about and present the highlights of an exciting Game 20 between the comic strip All-Stars and the modern cartoon All-Stars in a Game 13 rematch from New York. Welcome back. For the fifth straight year, it seems that the modern cartoon All-Stars has had a habit of playing the same team more than once. In Game 13, they defeated the comic strip All-Stars 45-24. Last night in New York, the comic strip All-Stars were looking for redemption, and at first it looked that way early on. Midway through the first quarter, Blondie Bumstead kicked a short field goal to go up 3-0. With under 2 minutes left in the first quarter, sixth-string cornerback Biss Buxley from Beetle Bailey recovered a fumble off of a punt return and ran it in from 33 yards out to go up 10-0. Blondie's second field goal finished the first quarter up at 13-0. In the second quarter, it was the modern cartoon All-Stars to dominate. With over 6 minutes left in the first half, Sonic the Hedgehog connected with his castmate Knuckles from 6 yards out to trail 13-7. Sailor Moon kicked a 39-yard field goal to trail 13-10 at halftime. Blondie's third field goal started the second half to go up 16-10. 2 minutes later, Sonic threw a second touchdown pass to Sailor Mars from 76 yards out to go up 17-16 with no further scoring in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Sailor Moon became Savior Moon as she kicked her second field goal to extend the lead 20-16 with over 11 minutes left. With under 9 minutes left, Charlie Brown threw a 23-yard touchdown pass to his canine companion Snoopy to go up 23-20. After the 2-minute warning and right at the end of the game, Sailor Moon kicked a pair of field goals, and just like in last Saturday's game between Marvel Comics and DreamWorks, the modern cartoon All-Stars won 26-23 in the same manner. The modern cartoon All-Stars will advance to the quarterfinals, while the comic strip All-Stars are eliminated from the tournament and finishes in 13th place. As for the stats in this exciting game, beginning with the comic strip All-Stars, Charlie Brown finished 22 of 42 for 178 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Archie Andrews rushed for 140 yards on 29 carries. Snoopy led the receivers with 4 catches for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. The Wizard of Id led the defense with 11 tackles, 5 assists, and 2 sacks. Blondie Bumstead finished with 11 points. For the modern cartoon All-Stars, Sonic the Hedgehog, the game MVP, finished 26 of 44 for 317 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also rushed for 40 yards on 6 carries. Kyle Broflovsky rushed for 141 yards on 31 carries. Sailor Mars led the receivers with 7 catches for 141 yards. Jessie of the Pokemon series led the defense with 9 tackles and 7 assists. Sailor Moon finished with 14 points. And here are the highlights of this exciting game, courtesy of EA Sports. After a short break, we will continue our series of player profiles, but this profile is a franchise profile as we commemorate the 50th anniversary of Schoolhouse Rock. Welcome back. As I pointed out in last week's video, how Saturday morning television was different in the 1970s for the variety of different shows each year. But in between each show, ABC, CBS, and NBC showed other segments to provide both information and education. CBS presented In the News, a short segment of stories that were in the news at that time in a way children could understand. During the 80s, NBC presented a segment called One to Grow On, where they showed certain real-life situations and NBC stars of the day to point out what was right or wrong in the situation shown. And on ABC, children could learn their ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and other subjects that was both entertaining and informative. For this week, the United States Cartoon Football League proudly commemorates the 50th anniversary of School Rock. And although no characters from this great franchise are in the USCFL, they did shape the minds of children, including myself, during the 1970s. And here's word to tell you the story. Take a seat, children. Class is now in session.
Schoolhouse Rock is an American interstitial programming series of animated musical educational short films and later music videos that aired during the Saturday morning children's programming block on the U.S. television network ABC. The themes covered included grammar, science, economics, history, mathematics, and civics. The series' original run lasted from 1973 to 1984. It was later revived from 1993 to 1996. Additional episodes were produced in 2009 for direct-to-video release. The series was the idea of David McCall, an advertising executive of McCaffrey and McCall, who noticed his young son was struggling with learning multiplication tables, despite being able to memorize the lyrics of many Rolling Stones songs. McCall hired musician Bob Duro to write a song that would teach multiplication, which became 3 is a magic number. Tom Yohe, an illustrator at McCaffrey and McCall, heard the song and created visuals to accompany it. Radford Stone, producer and writer at ABC, suggested they pitch it as a television series, which caught the attention of Michael Eisner, senior vice president in charge of programming and development at ABC, and cartoon director Chuck Jones. The first video of the series, 3 is a Magic Number, originally debuted during the debut episode of Curiosity Shop on September 2, 1971. The Curiosity Shop version is an extended cut which includes an additional scene/verse that explains the pattern of each set of 10 containing 3 multiples of 3, animated in the form of a carnival shooting game. This scene has never been rebroadcast on ABC, nor has it been included in any home media releases. Schoolhouse Rock debuted as a series in January 1973 with Multiplication Rock, a collection of animated music videos adapting the multiplication tables to songs written by Bob Duro. Duro also performed most of the songs, with Grady Tate performing 2 and Blossom Dearie performing 1 during this season. General Foods was the series' first sponsor, later sponsors of the Schoolhouse Rock. Segments also included Nabisco, Kenner Toys, Kellogg's, and McDonald's. During the early 1970s, Schoolhouse Rock was one of several short-form animated educational shorts that aired on ABC's children's lineup. Others included Time for Timer and The Bod Squad. Of the three, Schoolhouse Rock was the longest running. George Newell and Tom Yohe were the executive producers and creative directors of every episode, along with Bob Duro as musical director. This first season was followed in short order by a second season, run from 1973 to 1975, entitled Grammar Rock, which included nouns, verbs, adjectives, and other parts of speech, such as conjunctions, explained in Conjunction Junction. For this second season, the show added the services of Jack Sheldon, a member of the Merv Griffin Show house band, as well as Lynn Ahrens. Both of them contributed to the series through the rest of its run. Blossom Dearie returned for a second episode, and Ezra Mohawk joined the cast as a recurring singer. To coincide with the upcoming United States bicentennial, a third season, America Rock, airing in 1975 and 1976, had music videos covering the structure of the United States government, such as I'm Just a Bill, along with important moments in American history. Examples include the preamble and Mother Necessity. A fourth series, titled Science Rock, followed in 1978 and 1979, and included a broad range of science-related topics. The first video of this season, A Victim of Gravity, parodied elements of the hit film Grease and featured a rare guest appearance from a pop band, with recently reunited doo-wop group The Tokens providing the vocals. In addition to episodes describing the human body's anatomical systems, the nervous, circulatory, skeletal and digestive systems each received a music video. Episodes describing physical sciences such as astronomy, meteorology and electricity were also included, as was The Energy Blues, an environmentalism-themed video. A fifth follow-up series, titled Scooter Computer and Mr. Chips, featuring the titular characters, the only music videos in the series to feature any recurring characters, premiered in the early 1980s and comprised just 4 segments about home computer technology, then just emerging onto the scene. As the references and depictions became quickly outdated, due to the rapid advance of technology, these segments stopped airing after 1985 and were not released on home video until the 30th anniversary DVD in 2002. After leaving the airwaves in 1985, the original team reunited to produce 2 more Grammar Rock segments, Busy Prepositions and The Tale of Mr. Morton, for television in 1993 with J. Settlemeyer Productions Incorporated of White Plains, New York. This was followed in 1995 by a new series, Money Rock, which discussed themes related to money management on both the personal and governmental scale. The first cartoon, also a J. Settlemeyer Production Incorporated production, was Dollars and Cents. Episodes from the new series aired in rotation with the original segments from 1993 to 1996. The Walt Disney Company acquired Schoolhouse Rock in 1996 along with its acquisition of ABC owner Capital Cities/ABC Incorporated. Schoolhouse Rock was one of only 2 children's shows, the Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show being the other, to continue airing, albeit in reruns, after the transition to one Saturday morning. The series as a whole, after 27 years, shortly before the show's 30th anniversary, ceased airing on television in 2000, with newer episodes being released directly to home video. However, reruns occasionally aired on Toon Disney's Big Movie Show block in 2004, but were soon removed from the schedule. Starting in 2002, the team once again reunited to produce a new song, I'm Gonna Send Your Vote to College, written by George Newell and performed by Bob Duro and Jack Sheldon for the 30th anniversary VHS and DVD releases. For the new song, Tom Yohe Jr. took over as lead designer for his father, Tom Yohe Sr., who had died in 2000. Another contemporary song, called Presidential Minute, also written by George Newell, which explained the process of electing the President of the United States in greater detail, was included on the 2008 DVD Schoolhouse Rock. Election Collection, which centered on songs relating to American history and government. As the theory of climate change was put forth, a new series entitled Schoolhouse Rock Earth was created by the original production team, premiered in 2009, and featured 11 environmentally themed songs. On January 6, 2013, George Newell and Bob Duro appeared at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., as part of their ongoing series of free concerts on the Millennium Stage. It was deemed the largest attendance to date of the venue. Duro played 5 songs, accompanying himself on the piano. 3 is a magic number, figure 8, conjunction junction, preamble, and I'm Just a Bill. Duro had only performed lead vocals on the original version of 3 is a Magic Number. He also performed interjections, accompanied by DC area kids band Rocknoceros. Rocknoceros also performed Electricity, Electricity, Unpack Your Adjectives, Energy Blues, and Fireworks. On March 20, 2019, it was announced that Schoolhouse Rock, the box set, 1996, was added to the Library of Congress National Recording Registry in its 2018 class. The following is a brand new video, but instead of adding a song to clips, this video features 3 actual shorts that most people who saw it as kids will remember the most. It's one thing that ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox no longer show Saturday morning cartoons. But it's another to not provide additional material that kids could use. Sometimes we learn things no teacher could ever teach us. Schoolhouse Rock was a great way to learn and be entertained at the same time.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses.
Conjunction, junction, how's that function?
I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done.
Conjunction, junction, what's their function?
I got and, but, and, or. They'll get you pretty far. And, that's an additive, like this and that. But, that's sort of the opposite. Not this, but that. And then there's or, O-R. When you have a choice like this or that. And, but, and, or get you pretty far.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Hooking up 2 boxcars and making them run right. Milk and honey, bread and butter, peas and rice.
Hey, that's nice.
Dirty but happy, digging and scratching, losing your shoe and a button or 2. He's poor but honest, sad but true. Boo-hoo!
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Hooking up 2 cars to 1 when you say something like this. Choice, either now or later, or no choice. Neither now nor ever.
Hey, that's clever.
Eat this or that, grow thin or fat. Never mind, I wouldn't do that. I'm fat enough now.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Hooking up phrases and clauses that balance like out of the frying pan and into the fire. He cut loose the sandbags, but the balloon wouldn't go any higher. Let's go up to the mountains or down to the seas. You should always say thank you or at least say please.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses in complex sentences like, in the mornings when I'm usually wide awake, I love to take a walk through the gardens and down by the lake where I often see a duck and a drake. And I wonder as I walk by just what they'd say if they could speak. Although I know that's an absurd thought.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
Hooking up cars and making them function.
Conjunction, junction, how's that function?
I like tying up words and phrases and clauses.
Conjunction, junction, watch that function.
I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
I'm going to get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
I'm going to get you there if you're very careful.
Ooh, there's gonna be fireworks on the 4th of July. Red, white, and blue fireworks like diamonds in the sky. We're gonna shoot the entire works on fireworks that really show, oh yeah, we declared our liberty 200 years ago. In 1776, there were fireworks too. The original colonists, you know their tempers blew. Like Thomas Paine once wrote, it's only common sense that if a government won't give you your basic rights, you better get another government. And though some people tried to fight it, well, a committee was formed to write it. Benjamin Franklin, Philip Livingston, John Adams, Roger Sherman, Thomas Jefferson, they got it done. The Declaration of Independence in 1776. The Continental Congress said that we were free. Said we had the right of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Ooh, when England heard the news, they blew their stack. But the colonists lit the fuse, there'd be no turning back. They'd had enough of injustice now, but even if it really hurts, oh yeah, if you don't give us our freedom now, you're gonna see some fireworks. And on the 4th of July, they signed it, and 56 names underlined it. And now to honor those first 13 states, we turn the sky into a birthday cake. They got it done. The Declaration of Independence in 1776. Continental Congress said that we were free. Said we had the right of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And if there's one thing that makes me happy, then you know that it's there's gonna be fireworks.
Whew, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will, but today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be allowed, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By
old.
that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
He signed your bill. Now you're a law.
Oh, yes.
Although the USCFL and Schoolhouse Rock are two separate entities, the goal and mission for the USCFL is roughly the same: to provide entertainment, information, and education about your favorite cartoon characters that again does not reflect upon their true legacies. After one final break, we will reveal the answer to last week's trivia question, this week's question, and a preview of next week's games. Welcome back. Now for the answer to last week's trivia question. We asked which animator is not on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. If you guessed Lou Scheimer, you are correct. Other animators on the Walk of Fame include Walter Lantz, Matt Groening, Max Fleischer, and Jim Henson. Hopefully in time for his contributions to television and animation, Mr. Scheimer will get his place too. Now for this week's question. The category is Tom and Jerry's Wide World of Sports. The degree of difficulty is All-Star. This question is similar to the She-Ra question we asked earlier in the season, and there will be 5 possible answers. During the 1940s and 1950s, Tom and Jerry cartoons were shown in theaters before a feature presentation. Of the cartoons that were made during this time, there were 4 cartoons that featured a sport as the main focus. The question is, which sport wasn't the subject of a Tom and Jerry cartoon? Is the correct answer A, golf, B, baseball, C, tennis, D, bowling, or E, pool or billiards? We will have the answer for you next week. And that will wrap it up for Week 10 of the USCFL's 2023 season. Next week, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 21 between the Warner Brothers All-Stars and the Filmation All-Stars from Richmond, Virginia, and the highlights of Game 22 between the Cartoon Network All-Stars and the Jim Henson All-Stars in what could be their final USCFL game from Denver, along with another player profile in the USCFL. Be sure to support us on Patreon for as low as $3 a month. And until next Sunday, this is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network wishing you peace. Take care and stay safe.
All the characters and franchises mentioned throughout this webcast remains the copyright of their respective owners. They were used for the purpose of entertainment and or education, and therefore no breach of any copyright laws were intended. This webcast is protected under copyright and must not be rewritten, re-recorded, rebroadcast or re-uploaded in whole or in part without the prior written consent of First and 10 Productions, the American Association of Animation, and the United States Cartoon Football League. Copyright 2023.